It's your girl Deja, and I'm with my amazing co-host, and today we are going to be talking about self-love. You want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Terica Anthoniece. I'm an upcoming artist and model in Tampa, Florida. I'm a first-time mother, and
Yay, I love that for you. For sure. I love that. What's up, guys? It's your girl Britt coming back at you for another episode.
Hey y'all, I'm Artisshi, or you can call me She. I'm an artist, performing artist. I also have a podcast called She Speaks as well. And yeah, we do a lot of things over here.
Okay.
Yes, we have a very well-rounded group over here. So ladies, our first question regarding self-love is, are you born with self-love?
honestly, no. We're so prone to pleasing our parents, for a long time because we become like the little slaves and cooking, and you learn how to wash the dishes at 8, and for a long time, because you love your parents, you're just like, I do anything for mom, and it's all love. It's just, it self-love in a way of me talking about this right now.
I don't think that you're born with self-love. No, I think that that's something that's instilled from parenthood and from your caretakers. Definitely. So if you have caretakers that are speaking life into you and showing you what self-love is, then that's where you get it. But to be born with it, I think it might be a little innateness in you, but it needs to be brought to life. And if that's not through your childhood and into adolescence, then like for me, self-love didn't happen until I hit 30. I wrote true self-love. So, but it may have been different had I have had caretakers that really poured into me, and my caretakers were, they weren't even, they were trying to figure out what self-love was. Well, not even. They were really just trying to survive. So there was no real time for self-love.
Catapulted your self-love journey at 30?
Oh, what catapulted that? I think for me, it was, I got out of a relationship that I knew, like, I wanted so bad, but the treatment was just so bad. And it was just, at that time, it was just kind of just a hard cut for me. Like, once I see that something's no longer like for me, or if I see that, hey, I need to be looking at something a different way, like that's it. It's not a back and forth like that. It's cut dry, and that's what it is. So I think it was like the last straw of being treated badly in a relationship.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I do believe that it has to be instilled. I think it starts from childhood. I do think that as a child that you do have these thoughts and these ideals of your own self. But like you said, it has to be nourished in a way that you know how to project it out into the world, or just yourself. I myself, I feel like I've always known what self-love is. I come from a home that was, I was taught emotional intelligence very young.
It's beautiful.
But I also grew up watching my mom be everything to everybody. So my love language when I was growing up was like, I want to be this woman. But I didn't really realize how she was showing up for everybody else. But there were things of herself that she just, it wasn't being done, but she always seemed so happy. And she always seemed so full of joy. And she was always here for me and my brother. And, so as I got older, my love language, though, I noticed where I too was more focused when I was by myself. But when I became in a relationship, it was kind of one of those things where my self-love was, I loved the idea of loving people. And that made me feel so good that sometimes
Beautiful.
you have to be balanced.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I kind of would put me on the back burner a lot.
Yeah.
And then that's when it was like, okay, you have to also love yourself. You have to allow yourself to receive the love that you want to give all the time. So I'm kind of honestly in that stage too in my 30s. I'm 32 now. But in that stage of trying to see what does that feel like for me. I know what it feels like to give love, but receiving the love. What does that feel like? And how do I do that now? So that's where I'm at.
That is beautiful. I think it's unique to grow up in a home where you learn emotional intelligence that young, and it shows. That is a beautiful thing. Thank you. It is. It really is because not everybody has that. That is it is a blessing, and your mom sounds like an incredible person. Yeah.
She's strict, but she's yeah. Yeah, it's definitely with love. It's definitely with love for sure. It's cool. What about you?
I agree. I agree with you guys. I don't think that it's something that comes naturally. I think it's something that you have to work for, and in some cases more than others. You know, if you have a particularly like turbulent childhood, you might have to work a little bit harder to have, self-love, because you could have like negative self-thoughts be reinforced by your guardian. You know what I mean? Like,
Intrusive thoughts, sometimes you just have to flush them out. Lately, that's been me working, working my butt off. And I'm like, keeping myself busy is helping me lately to push away those thoughts that have tried to take me away from here.
do you feel like you becoming a mother helped you or motivated you to kind of go into your self-love journey?
Honestly, because I was a mess. When I say the Tasmanian devil, you know, and I've been learning to love that part of me lately because I judged myself for so long for being in that phase. And I'm like, no, you're a Pisces, duality, duality, duality. She really helped me ground myself better. And I'm feeling more content than I've ever felt. I'm grateful. Yeah.
I think that my daughter helped me with my self-love. Like, I never want to say that I relied on her for that because I never want to put that type of pressure on her. But I guess I didn't realize how, I guess a part of it was my spiritual. I have kind of like a spiritual awakening at the age of 30, I believe. I'm 32 now. So about 2 years ago, I had like a spiritual awakening, and I started to realize that there was something divine out there. Like, before that, I kind of had like an empty life, but I started to believe in something more divine and greater than me. And I realized that that has to be connected to me. Like, I have to be connected to something greater. And I think that gave me permission to kind of like start loving myself. That paired with the fact that I had a young daughter, and I knew that I needed to love myself and show up for her in order for, so I think that part of that is forgiving yourself.
Oh, yes.
And forgiving others
Yeah.
who hurt you, guardians, lovers, friends,
Definitely.
coworkers. You know what I mean? And I think that when you give yourself that permission, you can move forward.
Honestly, I'm at the phase where fuck everybody else, excuse my language. I'm forgiving myself first right now. Because when you take on too much, you become, like I said earlier, Tasmanian devil. Like you were saying earlier, you love the idea of loving people. Well, you were there and you learned a sense of self-love. I'm like, I can't be loving everybody more than I love myself. Because with that, they trying to take me out the game early. I ain't even did nothing yet. Yeah. I can't do it. You know what I mean?
That's kind of where I'm at too, though. It's just it's in a different way. Just because, like I said, some of it was watching my mom and certain things, even arguments we would have with certain partners I chose and not understanding why she was mad at me for being like her. I'm like, Mom, like, no, you were this great. And she's like, do you not understand what I'm telling you? And I didn't till I literally, like you, I was in a relationship. I wanted it to work so bad that I started to hate so many parts of myself. And there were people around me that loved me, chose me every day, but I wanted that person to choose me every day. And it was like, why? When I am loved, like anybody that knows me, like we had a girls' night with like my friends, and they had to mimic, like, oh, they got me. So somebody had to mimic me, and the first thing they was like, oh, I just love, and I love people, and I love, but I'm really like that. Like I'm like this is love for real, like embodied. But it was like I was so used to I guess the fact that I'm like, you don't feel it, you don't see it, like why you
Rejection
so, you
of
know?
your love, and you're like, what's going on now?
But it's like
What's
you're
wrong
saying
with
you want it.
me?
Yeah, what's wrong with
Yeah.
me? And there was nothing wrong with me. But that person, they never experienced the type of love that I had. And what my mom was trying to tell me, she's like, I'm telling you, I've been you. She's like, I'm not mad at you, but what I'm fussing at you about is what I put in you. I know what I put in you. But now I'm telling you, as yes, mom smiled all the time and she did this, but mom is now realizing there's things that I never got to receive. And I could say that I didn't really get to watch my mom receive the flowers, but she was the one giving the flowers all the time. She was the one always there. She was the one always, she's reliable.
She kept that smile for you. Yeah, I believe.
And now she's learning to live through her. But for a while, I was like, you tripping. I'm just like you. Like, what you, I'm a good woman just like you. And it's like, okay, but are you going to be a good woman to yourself?
Right. That part.
Or are you a good woman to all these people? Doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you're not to yourself. So I feel you on that. Like, it's just, stages.
Never lose that like warm, loving part of yourself though. Like don't let anybody take that away from you.
Never.
Remain that hopeless romantic, remain that like the Nushin type like
It's not fair to yourself.
I literally just went through a relationship just like that. Like just like what you're explaining is like you pour in so much and you just want this person to like receive your love, but then you're not, for me, I'm not getting anything back. No love whatsoever. And for me, it didn't take long for me to see that, hey, you need to put some work in here. Not like, oh, I'm stepping, but like, hey, this is what I'm seeing going on. I understand that you don't come from love. You've never had a female role model in your life that can show you love and has shown you love, has shown you care, and I want to be that one to show it to you because you deserve it.
Right.
I'm willing to be here to work, with you on it. And it was a couple of times, but it's after so many times. It's like, when do you choose yourself? And so walking away was very hard, just like you. It's like, what's wrong with me? Why? Every time I would utter those words, what's wrong with me? The immediate thing that come across, there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you.
confirm that.
Yeah, confirm it. Yeah, it's like there's nothing wrong with me. If this individual doesn't know how to receive love, then that's not for me to be the one to give that to him, or have him understand that. I see these posts all the time talking about what a healer is. A healer is not somebody that comes in and heals you, right? A healer is somebody who comes into your life and shows you the parts of you that need healing, and then also shows you how to heal yourself. That's a true healer.
But you have to be ready to receive that.
Yes, they have
that's
to be.
work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so that was always the question. I asked it. It was 3 times that question. Are you willing to do the work? Yes, yes. And the third one's no. And okay, well, I love me way too much to sit here and think that it's going to change. If you're telling me no, you don't want to work, blessings, peace, power, and love to you. I pray that you find the love and light that you really need in your life.
And I was gonna say, I think loving people from a distance or walking away is a form of self-love.
Absolutely.
Like that is a form of like, listen,
1000%.
and like you said, with peace and love, I release you. Bless and release. So I actually have a follow-up question to that. What do you do to maintain your self-love after you go through a breakup or a rejection of
For me, and it's not to pick, but one thing you did say is like, I keep myself busy. I don't do that. Like, I sit in my feelings and I get all the cries out. I get all the hopelessness out. I'll do all of the journaling. I'll scream. I'll do all of the things that are making me feel down, low, sad. I mean, this past relationship, rocked me to my core. My absolute core broke me all the way down because I just knew that this was the it for me, right? No, and it literally
Asking how long were you guys?
Oh, it's just a year. And I say just a year now, but like in hindsight, like 6 months ago, it was like, it's been a year, like, and I'm still in love with you. Like, I'm still really wanting this. And it's funny because my other relationships, all of my like serious relationships have only lasted 2 years. And at 6 months, every single one of them, at 6 months, I knew this wasn't the relationship for me. Yes.
Me 2 years. 2 years. I had
Exactly.
2-year relationships, and at 6 months, we went through a breakup or something happened, and I had a son.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in your 30s too.
I'm 34. I'll be 35 this year. Yeah.
32, and I have a similar story.
Oh, wow, I'm the youngest on the panel.
How old are you?
I'm 26 in March.
Wait a minute. I just want to congratulate you for the fact that you're on a self-love journey at 26. Because they all just said that it took us till we were in our 30s to get here. So,
Thank you.
yeah,
I
that you're doing the
appreciate
work now. You're already ahead of the game.
Thank you for the well wish.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, back to your question of like, I sit in it. I sat in it, you know, and when the feelings or when the things come up, like, you're just like, heard me crash out just a bit ago. It's like, if my ego wants to show its face and my id wants to show up and just be like, whatever, I let it, get it out, remove it. Okay, Britt, you've talked about it.
Yeah.
Let's move on, So.
I asked you how long too, because I was in two kind of like situationships, one for 8 years and another for 11 years. And
Damn.
it never got serious, and I don't,
Yeah.
just love a person for where they at.
Yeah.
But I say that because do you feel that it's more love that you feel, or is it 3 options actually? Love and attraction, or just like we were touching on earlier, just loving people
Like a
in general.
So for me, and it was a beautiful epiphany. For me, it was truly love, and it was truly love for people. And I didn't know until literally Christmas Day, I treated myself to an entire spa day. It was the most beautiful thing ever. I had like 8 treatments, 2 massages, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, like spa, like sauna, hot tub, like, foot massage. I had a whole body scrub, everything, nails and toes, not hair. But the very last treatment that I had was a full body herbal wrap. And inside of that, I was in and out of this gamma, just like subconscious, like just really just having these visions. And what came over me right as I'm getting unwrapped is, wow, who I fell in love with was the me I was able to be in that relationship. That's why I was so broken.
Wow.
It was because of who I was able to be. And I said, Britt, you didn't lose that. You're still that. And it
You walked away with
confirmed
that.
Yes, it confirmed that in fact I'm really ready for my partner to show up. Like, that was a confirmation that, wow, you know how to love. You know how to be the softest, most feminine, most understanding, most compassionate partner
Yep.
in life. And it has been confirmed. And that's who you fell in love with. And you're missing being able to be that for someone else. But right now you get to be that for yourself.
That's exactly
So,
where I'm
yeah.
at. That's crazy.
So it was, yeah.
It
It was
is.
like at that moment, and of course, like right then and there, like I cried. I didn't try to hold, like I'm not gonna push those out. I'm not gonna make myself do busy work. Like if I wanna cry, I'm gonna cry. If I wanna scream, I'm gonna scream. Whatever it is that I need to get out of my body, whatever emotion that is wanting to be evoked, I'm going to move it out of my body so I can continue on my journey and on my path. But at that time, like I literally cried for that woman, and then also cried for who I am, and that like also like a 360. It was just very beautiful. So to answer your question full circle, it was love. It was true love, and I truly love this man. But it was also the truest love for myself. Like that was a confirmation that like
Just prefers
yeah, it was.
In and out.
So it's like from the truest confirmation that I have done the work, right? At 35 years old, I could say I have done the work, and I know truly without a reasonable doubt, what self-love is, what it looks like, and who she is, and why, and who deserves it. No, did you say 30? Yeah, I'll be 35 in August. Yes, 35.
Look
35.
good. Looking good. Looking good.
Yes, ma'am.
So one of the other questions we have on here is, do you think that self-love is treated as a trend to be popular? Yeah, like big positive.
Yeah.
You know, being honest, I was putting on a facade for the longest, vouching self-love because of loving people so much that I wanted them to pour into themselves. Like, um, I got into a dispute with a best friend one day, and she's like, "You trying to fake to be so positive?" I said, I just love people. You know, I want people to love themselves and just embrace their new selves. And that means I have to go to the end of the earth to put motivation to people, you know. Sometimes I will, you know, sometimes I feel I have to. I feel we all have to, just being sitting on this couch, you know. We have to instill that in people because media is everything. Nowadays, they just dropped their TikTok the other day with the day back.
So yeah, it's actually something that we preach inside my women's wellness group is love for true love for yourself and what that actually looks like. And it's not just, you know, yeah, definitely not. You know, it is holding power to your voice. It is you having ugly cry days. It is you affirming or confirming that, you know, you are worthy. You know, you are worthy of a bad day. You know, a lot of people don't think that they're allowed a bad day. Yeah. And it's sad because society has this go mode, right? You just got to be go and you have to be positive. And it's like, no. I mean, I just talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Is like, I was feeling so blah.
I remember that video. It helped me so much. I shared it. Talk about it. Talk about it.
So that was on one of the Success Circle meetings that I hold every Wednesday, 7 a.m. to 7:30 on Facebook. Y'all, come on.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, it's at Group Her Village on Facebook. But so I go live every Wednesday, just kind of grab some motivation and allow for 1% betterment or 1% betterment in life for the day. And so that day I was very blah, and I was just like, you got a lot of shit to do today, Britt. We're not gonna do any of it, and I'm allowed to have a bad day. And it just aligned with, a lot of people don't understand how creatures of nature we are, creatures of habit we are, and we are in the dead of winter, and understanding what that means. It doesn't mean that it's a time for you to, balls to the wall, hit your goals, implement new things. Like all these people are like, you hear all the time, like new year, new me. And, I got to get to the gym. And, that's why it's hard for them to stay on track during the winter because this is a time for a reset. This is a time for rest. This is a time for us to actually take time to reflect and restore. It's not a time for us to implement, right? We can plan, but it's not that time. And especially for women, I was telling Deja about that. Like it's a time it matches up with our own our infradian rhythm as women, our moon cycles. And, during this winter phase or during this menstrual phase, when when we're talking about menstrual phases, where are we? We're on the couch with chocolate, not wanting to do anything, right? Resting. Why? Because energy is low. It's the same thing for winter. That's why you have springtime blooms, right? Summer, hot girl summer, right? Everybody's out, everybody's bugging, everybody's moving. And then fall, you're kind of getting ready to go back into that same cycle. And it's, you're allowed a blah day. You're allowed time to, feel like
It's
you
good to
can't
be
do anything.
authentic. I feel like it's good to be authentic. I feel like it's good to just have a safe space in yourself. I think a lot of people are on my podcast and platform. That's what I preach about. Like,
Authenticity.
yes, it's literally is a safe space to fix your face.
Okay.
So it's like
I love that. Yes.
yeah.
Authenticity though, for you to be authentic, you have to know self. Would you agree? Like 1000%. And I think that it kind of piggybacks back off of what we teach over in Be Fit about women's wellness and understanding, like to understand the female body. Like to understand that is to be able to understand self. And so women think that, we're not allowed to show our ass or like, oh, we're just being hormonal, so we can just act out this way because it's just that time. And it's, well, if you know a little bit more about yourself, you'll be able to put yourself in positions to where you're not making yourself look like an ass.
Just need to learn to embrace vulnerability. Like,
Yes.
it's something about if once you know you, nobody can make you feel bad about who you are. I feel like a lot of people, when they look at self-love and they're wanting to affirm yourself, it is taught to us to look at your positive traits. Like, these are my strengths. Like when you're feeling bad, I want to focus on my strengths. No, when you're at your worst, you actually need to focus on your weakness, because your strengths, my mom always taught me, it's always in my head, never let your talent take you to a place where your character won't let you stay.
That's beautiful because she taught me that. Yeah. Gagged and G droppers, yeah, man. Check she speaks out.
But yeah, so because of that, when I was hitting walls at times, it was like, I know how to stamp a room. I know how, and I've watched myself have to reprint my foot, and I doing that bitch every time. But I'm tired of having to reprint that foot. And where's the other steps? But that's because my talent kicks down the door. My aura, my vibe's gonna kick down the door. But I loved without boundaries. I was people pleasing. I didn't know I cared about other people's feelings sometimes more than my own. You know what I'm saying? Just certain things like that. And those things hindered certain relationships. I got connected to people that fell in love with my hand instead of my heart.
Oh,
Now be for real. Say that one more time. Oh my God, did y'all hear that?
She's on fire.
But no, really. Like, it taught me, for people will really fall in love with your hand. They fell in love with the ideal of me. You know what I'm saying? So when they fell in love with the ideal of me, when I could not be that ideal, like she said, when I had days, they expected Artisshi to show up as Artisshi every single day.
Like, they
What you
want
mean
you to
you're?
be on 10.
Yeah, I'm on 10 because I'm always on 10. What do you
You're not
mean?
responsible to uphold
Exactly.
projection, opinion, or
I felt like I felt like it was my duty to do that, but that was also because I relied on my strength so much. So when I was down, I'm like, no, I'm relying on my strengths. But when I took this step back into my journey and coming out of the last relationship I was in, and I think that's because everything happens for a reason. I'm not gonna. I feel like that relationship, for the first time, I was with someone that seemed to see all my faults. I was always wrong. So for the first time in my head,
Don't we love
before I would have even other relationships before, I had those same problems in those other relationships. But the difference was, this relationship finally manifested to me in my face all the things that was finally wrong with me, on why I keep repeating certain unhealthy patterns, because I didn't get when people would be like, oh, that's low self-esteem, or you don't love yourself. Honey, if you know me, baby, I love me. I romanticize everything. I do self-care boot camps. I cook for myself and get dressed up and go to the beach by myself and listen to music. I have girls come on my page like, I want to come with you. I be like, girl, come on. Like, so I never got that. I'm like, y'all lying. But what it was is, because I focused so much on that, I didn't focus on the weakness part. But when I had a person that's always pointing it out, it finally, for the first time, I'm like, okay, and not because of what they were saying, it literally manifested. This was always an issue. I just finally have a mirror of that. So how do I stop? Because we already know what my strength's gonna do, but that's like anything. It's kind of like Samson, like with his hair, or the Achilles heel. Like, you have that one thing. Everybody has that one kryptonite. You can be super strong. It doesn't matter. You can have all the power in the world. If that weakness, if you don't know how to protect and combat that weakness, all the person got to do after you done did all that, boop,
and get tired.
you done. You're all the way back on the floor. So now you feeling, so that's why now, like you said, like, embracing myself. I don't care. I embrace all the things that I didn't like about me, all the things. I don't care. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm on today. I'll figure it out. Because it's a safe space to fix your face.
Right. I am so curious.
I don't care.
What, if you can, share just one weakness that went, while you were saying this, what is that one weakness that was coming to mind?
My lack of boundaries.
Yeah.
Or sacrificing.
Just I knew how to love, but also and I remember it was a couple times in relationships when they would get really upset with me, like the word was enabling. And my love was enabling, and it used to make me so mad because I'm like, it's enabling now because you never want to do nothing, so I'm doing all the work. But now when I repeat it back, you're doing all the work.
Right.
You are enabling.
Yes.
Why are you enabling?
Yes.
Because you feel like you need to be the hero. You feel like you let me do this for you. So you're not allowing them to show up for themselves. And you're also not allowing them to show up for you in the way you show up for them. So that's why you're constantly in this pattern. And they're really upset because even though they're not ready to do the work, a person knows when they got a good woman. People know when they have good things in front of them, whether they mistreat them or not.
Right.
People be thinking, oh, they just didn't know better. No, people will get mad at you. If you ever really sit and talk to somebody later when they gotten so angry with you and you were so good to them, it's because to them, they're like, I know you know better. You're smarter than this. Why are you letting me treat you like this, but you're preaching at me? So when I had to learn that, it literally was like, I had to rebrand my whole mind. No means no. I don't care how you feel. If I don't like something, I had to learn. I'm a person that never. I'm very careful with my words. Like I said, my mom was like very, not militant, but just teaching us emotional intelligence. Things was always like, don't make your decisions in life other people's fault because now you don't really have any power. So whereas a lot of people, when they're even in an argument, your first go thing is like, you did this to me.
Yes.
To be honest, when you do that, you take your power away every time because they did what they did.
Yeah. You chose.
Hey, you have the reaction, but I'm choosing this. You know what I'm saying? So it was like one of those things. Once I realized that your love isn't enabling. You didn't mean it to be enabling, but you enabled them. And a lot of times you were mad about it because you called your best friend about all the things they were not doing. And you waited till it boiled up and you finally told them. And then even when you told them, if you seen that they was trying like 25%, you went the whole 75. So how do you know that they're equipped to do this? How do they know? You doing all the work, that's why you tired.
And that was
You know
real
what I'm
of
saying?
them to mention to you, like, why are you taking this from me? Because most men, they're not really open with their feelings. So that just shows he has some type of emotional intelligence or something. Or he's like something.
I think that goes back to I think what you're talking about is right back full circle to that authenticity. Because if you're gonna practice self-love, it's more than just like a nice hashtag on Instagram or like an aesthetic post or something. It's ugly. It's shadow work. It's the dark night of the soul. It's you creating boundaries. It's you holding yourself accountable. It's you realizing your weaknesses. That's when you cannot begin your self-love journey until you can look at yourself in a mirror. And sometimes that mirror is a parent, a child, a relationship, any type of betrayal. I know that is what made me start my self-love journey. Is I went through a terrible betrayal, and it would have sent me spiraling, but I was ready to face myself, and I was ready to look at myself like, okay, yes, you're a fucked up person, but what is it fucked up in me that's allowing that? What is it in me that keeps attracting you? Because I've seen you before, you've manifested in my life before in a different form. Why do I keep attracting you in different bodies? You know what I mean? Like, that was an amazing conversation, ladies. Thank you so much for joining, and we will catch you guys next time.
Now, be for real.